Republicans, but it's sure going slowly.
A lot of grandstanding is what you're seeing, and also you're seeing a national embarrassment to this country. Where did this start? Well, first of all, we know that there's a certain segment of the Republican Party that was out to get Barack Obama from day one, and they are in full bloom right now, and that's what you're seeing. And unfortunately, it's these politicians who are bought and paid for by the Koch brothers and other people who help get them elected with money. Those are the people who are really calling the shots right now. I don't think Boehner has much power as a Speaker of the House. And until he gets that, there's not going to be much of a shift.
And Jackie, what's the real danger here? We've already seen impacts of the shutdown, but of course we have the looming deadline, 9 days, the debt ceiling, and then not only could it really hurt our economy, but the world economy.
Well, of course. I mean, look what happened. You know, we're about to go into a global recession if we do not raise the debt ceiling. One thing people have to understand is that raising the debt ceiling does not mean that we are borrowing more money like the Republicans are saying we are. What we're doing is paying for the debts we already had. So if we do default on our debts, we're going to be a deadbeat nation. We will no longer be that icon that the rest of the world looks at.
And when you look at it, it's over what? Healthcare, already a law. It's already been established at the level of the Supreme Court. So what really is there to argue over? This is not how we legislate things in this country. And if we are the paradigm of democracy, what's the rest of the world again thinking about where we are? We're looking like a third world country right now.
Well, and when you talk about blame and even Republicans saying they're afraid the public is blaming the Republican Party, what will that ultimately mean in the end? Will people be held accountable?
Well, right now, the polls show that people, yes, are holding the Republicans a little more responsible for this, as they should, than the Democrats. When we go back to the polls, is going to be out. I think they have to turn around and take a good look at what's going to happen to them in the future.
Right. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to somebody like a Ted Cruz. Does he rise or does he fall? And to see what happens in the midterms in 2014. I think you're going to see, again, a big change. And I don't think that's a bad thing, because right now what we have is a stuck government. We need a government that moves forward, not backwards.
Well, look, the president spoke at length from the White House today. Is there anything else he can do to get things moving?
Well, sure. He can acquiesce to the Republicans and say, okay, I will defund Obamacare, because that's the only thing that's going to make them happy now and get everything moving. And you know what? He's not going to do it, and I hope he doesn't.
He won't. He'll never do that. He'll never acquiesce. But you will see he'll give something. He'll let them set up a negotiation once they get past this debt ceiling debacle. And I think you're going to see them try to move it, you know, to the level where it should be, and not the level of a national disgrace, which is what it is now.
Yeah, I mean, do you think as we inch closer to that deadline in 9 days that we will see movement, that there has to be because of the risk?
Absolutely. And I think the problem right now is we are governing by crisis every 6 weeks. That has got to stop.
That's right. You know, I'm getting a little bit scared. As of last night, I thought, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're really going to throw us into default. But today I'm thinking, from watching the news, perhaps they will, just for a gain, just for a win in politics, and throw us, the American people, under the bus.
Right. It's not a win. It's a loss,
yeah,
however you look at it. And for them, too. You dig a grave for us, you may as well put yourself in it.
Yeah. All right. Lynn, Jackie, thanks so much for the insight.